Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla. Sorry, that's probably very quiet. Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla. Coming back to ya with another episode of Walks with Schla. And I don't know, maybe today this episode's gonna be a bit more melancholy. Which I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's just the word. It just popped in my mind. I don't know. Hopefully, I will work on my word skills, although I'm probably too lazy to ever actually do that, sadly. I guess I've just realized, I guess I've known this, but it's become more apparent, as time goes on. Anytime I have to try something new or do something new, there is just a huge wave of stress. A huge wave of, I think it's probably the worst thing is me dealing with pressure to do something. Oftentimes it's the face of uncertainty. I guess I just really have a hard time with things that have a probability of a poor outcome. And I don't take loss very well compared to a lot of other people. And yeah, material loss I don't take well, but the main thing I don't take well would be emotional loss. I think that's really the main thing that I care about, as I'm somewhat materialistic, but ultimately that isn't really a defining feature of me, because in most ways I don't even feel materialistic. I think I have an appreciation for material things, so you could argue that that's materialistic, because some people just don't value things, or they can't, their perception is not as fine-tuned. I mean, I really notice details, and I have, my senses are very I just, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of makes me materialistic, in the sense of there's a lot of people who, and even a lot of people who have these cars, like the nicer cars, they probably don't really appreciate it. I know I'm beating a dead horse on this one too, but you guys should be used to me beating. You guys should be used to me killing dead horses at this. At this rate, you guys should be used to me beating dead animals. Yeah, this episode probably not going to be that long. I got my portions a little off for my food this week, so I ended up eating not too little yesterday, and then today extra. But what I'm noticing is I actually really like it a lot. I still was able to eat it without feeling too full. I literally think that I just really don't like stuff warm at all. I just love stuff cold, because I'm serious. I love that refrigerated ground beef. There's just something about it. It's weird. It's very weird. I mean, in all fairness, though, I'd probably like it a little less cold, or maybe I'd like it more cold. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't like when fat or butter is liquefied. I honestly just don't like it. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. It's a very interesting conclusion. It's a very interesting conclusion. But yeah, I ate a lot today. So just think it's interesting, because I really did eat a lot, and it took me a while too, but still don't really feel that full. Like, I still feel pretty okay. So that's a nice, like, bonus for me to find. But back to what I was saying, especially when it comes to work and jobs and stuff, I really hate how what the world's turned into with, people applying to like 100 places just to get their foot in the door. It's terrible. I mean, it's really terrible. I think there's like a loss of dignity in doing that, and it's inevitably suboptimal. It's just inevitably like leading to suboptimal outcomes for people, because there's no way that, because remember, you have to remember how I'm thinking. My brain and my thoughts, I'm thinking about optimizing things. I'm thinking about everybody should work at the job they do best that's closest in proximity to themselves. And nobody else is thinking like that at all. There's no planning. There's just getting whatever job you can get in which place happens to hire you. Whether it's 2 hours away, whether it's 15 minutes away, who cares? And everything's just like a big messy disaster. And that's just not how things should work, and that's not really how I see the world, or how I see how the world should be, if that makes any sense. It's very frustrating for me, and I still truly think that I would be happier once everybody is brain chipped and there's a direct scouting out of minds and all the rearranging I spoke of and things like that, and where people are forced to step down or things like that. It would be a beautiful thing. And yeah, I mean, that's just how I am. And I mean, it's nice to realize that, but it's still frustrating because I have to live in a slow, inadequate system for the time being. But yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame. Let me try to see, because I have to be careful of the time, because again, it's probably going to be shorter. But yeah, I deal with pretty intense waves of stress. That's like the main problem. Whenever it's like there's any type of risk involved, that's why in school I was never able to study, because to put effort into studying and it did not guarantee a yield or an outcome, it felt better for me to get a lower grade without studying than to, spend like an hour or two studying and then not have a guaranteed outcome. And so a lot of people would say maybe that's wrong for me to think that way, but in terms of a developed society, believe it or not, yes, that is how it should work in a developed society. Because in a developed society, you have systems like insurance, which is a good thing because it makes it so that even if something bad happened to you, you would be covered, right? And that's like the whole idea around insurance, is because, bad things happen to people and everybody just pays a portion of money so it can go towards that, and then it splits the load amongst, multiple different people. It's a good thing. And so really how society should work is everybody should have a certain minimum threshold, a living wage that should be paid, and then you could really do most things. For some reason I forgot what I was about to say, or what I'm really talking about. That's kind of a shame, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not sure. What was I getting at? Hmm. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're talking about how in a developed society, you should, in fact, feel entitled to guaranteed outcomes. And that's fair, meaning certain things like owning a home, etc., as long as you can fairly conceive it, you should be able to do it. Which means, of course, not every human becomes a homeowner. Some people will just end up being renters, and that is just a matter of life. You know, because some people, it's just not, and that was always the case. Even during the peak of the American economy, that was always the case. But that's not like the point. The point is, like, some people don't apply themselves, and so they don't get anywhere. Or like they may not even want to be a homeowner, because there's a lot of people where they don't want things. Like there's lots of people who don't want a nice car because they don't really appreciate it. So and there's probably a lot of people who have nice cars that also shouldn't have them, and it should be going to somebody else. Because if you can't appreciate it, the like higher quality material or things like that, then you shouldn't have it. It doesn't matter if you have enough money to afford it or not. And then vice versa, I'm somebody who does and who really would appreciate it. I should have it. And yes, there is a fairness in the entitlement to that. Like that's not really a crazy thing, especially in a modern society. But mostly we talk about, essentials when we're talking about entitlements. And yes, in a modern society, it should be possible for anybody who wishes really to be able to execute their life to their fulfillment. Now, you can definitely put a cap on certain people, because certain people, it's like too far or it's unnecessary. And like I said, I don't want to restrict sorry, what am I saying? Extrict? I don't want to restrict. What am I? This is not master communicator level talking here. I don't want to restrict human excellence, because I do genuinely want to see humans at the best they can be. But there's like a difference with that. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Like I really do. There is a degree of inequality that makes sense. It really does. Because again, some people just they could appreciate things that others can't. And I think even now it's probably the case where, like, for most people, most regular new cars are probably nicer than an average person can even appreciate, because a lot of these new interiors and fit and finishes, like, they're getting pretty good. They're getting pretty good for, like, not that crazy of a car, or like, an alleged budget car, like, especially where they used to be years ago. So just think it's interesting. Stuff's gotten a lot more expensive, and it's gotten a lot better, but I don't know if all humans really reflect in that way or, like, deserve that. But again, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to just, like, do anything too crazy that starts to cut into, oh no, this login is getting really annoying now. They must have messed my thing up. My thing must have got messed up. That's a shame. Oh, changes. But yeah, so sorry I'm not doing super well at communicating, I guess. It just feels weird. I just feel kind of like, I don't even know. I don't know how to really describe it. Just like some type of way. A little bit absent-minded. And I didn't really get to talk about what I wanted to, and I didn't even follow through with what I said I was going to finish talking about. And I guess that goes to show... how... What does it go to show? I'm really struggling today. I guess it goes to show that I was right, and that I would have came up with something else to talk about. But yeah, it just makes it hard for me to function. And the thing is, we should have very consistent or guaranteed entitlements or outcomes in life, especially within a developed society. Meaning, if somebody wants to have a family, they should be, because not everybody does. That's what I mean. So there's, if somebody doesn't want to have a family, they don't need a home. Because why else would you need, like, a house? You know what I mean? So they could just be in an apartment for the rest of their lives. You can make adjustments like this to make it so that, yes, like, you basically should have everything orderly and fair. And there are certain expectations that, yeah, like, if you apply for a job, you get given the type of oh my gosh, you get given the time of day. You're not just like blown off or whatever. But again, in the future, because the way I'm thinking, and I'm realizing why, like, it's just not, things are not set up like I'm just thinking like so far like ahead, and people are not there. I don't know that they ever will be. But none of this would even be a problem once everybody's brains are chipped. And then, again, like, once everybody's brains are chipped, it'll be that you wouldn't apply to a company. You would just get told where you would be best suited. And it would be very fast, very quick. And if you became better suited elsewhere, you would get moved, and it would be very organized and very optimized, very fair. All the wages would get calculated perfectly. It wouldn't be up to some company and their greedy ambitions or desires. And so a lot of the stress or qualms or questions that I have, it's really technology that's the solution. And that's why I think I'm so obsessed with just buying it and needing different, better stuff, because that's ultimately going to be the solution to how I want to live. And it's a shame, because we're really still years out, sadly, from any of this stuff really materializing. So I still have a fair bit of turmoil to go through. I don't know. And I'm hoping that will come through and kind of save me, or save things, because I just don't really like the world as is. It's not now, so a lot of people do, and that's what I'm saying. If anything, I would say most people do. Most people aren't really that into the progression of humanity or things like that. A lot of people like to cling to the past or cling to inadequacy. But I'm obviously not like that for whatever reason. And here we are, This is what we're dealing with. It's interesting, though, to think about, and I may have more to say about this topic, but we're kind of out of time, and again, like I said, I'm not feeling like 100%, so hopefully by the end of the week, I get to be more 100%. So, anyways, it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see you, schla.